Hey, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon with the Thug. Got a great show for you today. Today we're going to be battling in the Generation 2 OU ladder with N64Gary. He's another YouTube streamer. You check out his stream. He's got some cool stuff on there. Great game today. Probably one of the best games I've ever seen in terms of a Generation 2 Gold-Silver match. He's just got great mechanics, brought a fresh new team, some underrated Pokemon on there, and really just fantastic match. No serious misplays on either part, except maybe one by me, as a matter of fact. But other than that, it was really just a clean strategy match. And but before we get into that, let me show you the team that we're bringing today. All right, today's team, we've got Blossom. And Blossom does know Stun Spore, Hidden Power Grass, Synthesis, and Leech Seed. The reason why I like Hidden Power Grass is for a mono-attacking Pokemon or a Pokemon with one attack. It's nice to use a Hidden Power because then they don't even necessarily know what it is for a little while. It takes them some time to figure it out, as opposed to if I did use Razor Leaf, then they'd know right out the start that they could send in Fire Pokemon or other Pokemon that are resistant to the Grass-type moves and immediately be able to absorb it turn 1. And while if I do a Hidden Power and it's Grass-type, could be Grass, but it could be a couple other things. So it does give me a little bit more of an advantage. Plus, in this instance, it does more damage with 70 power as opposed to 55. Next up, we have Gengar, bringing the Fire Punch, Thief, Thunderbolt, and Destiny Bond. He is my only Pokemon not rocking leftovers. He actually has no items since he will be using Thief. And then we have Starmie, who is mainly in here as a Machamp counter, seeing as how his Psychic typing is resistant to Machamp's Cross Chops, and his ability to use the Stab Psychic will threaten it to hit him with about 75% damage on each attack. Next we have a classic Snorlax. I've actually revised the previous versions that I've used, and this is a return Snorlax, so simple Curse-Lax. This is pretty much picked for its Snorlax versus Snorlax counter matchup. It wins. There is no better setup in a 1v1 with another Snorlax. It's also nice not to take the recoil damage, and the amount of damage he does is negligible. Negligibly different, that is. And then we have Machamp coming in, Cross Chop, Fire Blast, Rock Slide, Earthquake. So he's a mixed champ with bringing in that special attack Fire Blast, which is to counter those commonly seen Steel types. And then last but not least is Skarmory, who is running the standard Skarmory set. Yeah, let me go ahead and see if I can scroll that up a little higher for you. Oh, maybe not. But he will be running Whirlwind, Drill Peck, Curse, and Hidden Power Fighting, which is interesting. It's to counter a couple things, including normal type Pokemon that are coming in. And that it not only stalls out with its steel typing, but also threatens to damage back. Is one of the main strategies behind that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into the game. Alright, here we go. So he is actually going to go ahead and open up with Heracross, which is neat because you don't see a lot of Heracross, but it is a great Pokemon. So I'm immediately going to switch out of Blossom and go into Skarmory. And as you look in my new interface on the sides here, you're going to notice that the Pokemon will only be revealed once I've actually seen them in the match, because unlike some of the newer generations of Pokemon, the old school ones, you don't know what the whole lineup is until the game's kind of gone on. So I see he's got this Nidoking here. He's revealed Lovely Kiss, which is just a fantastic move. I'm going to bring in Blossom and expecting the Thunderbolt, and he's going to go ahead and drop off an Ice Beam. So now I know that he does have the Thunderbolt and Ice Beam on his Nidoking in addition to Lovely Kiss. I imagine his last move is going to be Earthquake to get that stab physical attack. He's not much of a physical sweeper. I'm going to bring in Starmie here to absorb the Ice Beam and hopefully try and wake up from the sleep. Doesn't happen. He drops Thunderbolt, and that's just too much damage, so we're going to have to switch out. He brings in Mischievous, which causes me to bring in Skarmory, afraid that it might be a Perish Trapping set. He's my only one with a Whirlwind or a Curse, so I immediately go into Skarmory to Whirlwind it out. And here's the first instance you're going to get to see that Hidden Power Fighting. So I'm going to use it on the Real Steel here. And it is super effective, but it's really not going to do very much damage. It looks like it's probably 9-10 hit KO after leftovers. So I'm going to bring in Blossom because he's going to be resistant to the Earthquake. And I want to get that paralysis off. One of the main reasons I run Blossom is not only for the electric resistance, but also for the Earthquake. And the fact that Stun Spore, unlike all the other paralyzing moves like Thunder Wave, does affect Steelix. So as you'll notice, most of my team has counters to Steelix, because if you don't, he will threaten to sweep your team with some spikes. but by staggering the amount of Pokemon with counters to him, and some of the other steel Pokemon for that matter, it does threaten him or threaten the ThugX based team, because he can't just wall most of your Pokemon and try and weather the roars to get the right matchup back in, and meanwhile you're taking a bunch of spike damage. Lost a lot of games like that in the past, so it's one of the big adaptations I've made. So he's going to go ahead and bring in Mischievous here, and he's going to pair Song first. So I'm not afraid, because I know that if he goes for Mean Look, which is the second part of the combo, there'll be enough time for me to kill him. He knows that too, so he's going to go ahead and protect here. And I'm just going to keep dropping the Drill Pecks on, which are cursed up. I see the Destiny Bond, and very fortunate for me actually, I do get the pair hacks, so I'm not able to attack. He and I both are going to die next turn, so we're both going to have to switch out. So we're going to go both back out to our starters here. And this is probably the biggest misplay I make in the whole match, is I'm thinking, you know, fighting type loses to psychic type, but I completely forget about his bug typing, and he one-hits me with the Mega Horn quite easily. It's a big loss, because not only do I lose my Starmie, I lose my Rapid Spinner, but he's now able to use Lovely Kiss again. Since you're only limited to one sleeping Pokemon at a time, he now can put something else to sleep. So predicting that, I bring in the Snorlax, since he is a Sleep Talker, and so that's fine. Now he's going to go into Mischievous here. I don't know if I've revealed that I don't have the Earthquake yet, but either way, Mischievous is a safe bet to take the incoming return. So I'm going to bring in Gengar here, anticipating being trapped, but I'm hoping to at least take Mischievous out with me with the Thunderbolts. But I'm surprised at how little damage it does. Mischievous actually doesn't have a very high special defense. I believe it's no higher than 80, and whilst Gengar's special attack is about 130, I was expecting to do a lot more damage and really threaten a 2-hit kill it here, but that wasn't the case. So I go ahead and Thief, knowing it's going to do less damage, just to get the leftovers away from Mischievous, so whoever comes in later, it can't protect and heal up. And I have a feeling, because he's only seen the Thunderbolt, that he's going to bring in a ground-type Pokemon to resist it, so I do go for the Fire Punch, which will put him in KO range from the Machamp coming in. I don't think he saw the Fire Blast on Machamp yet. Either way, he may have just been trying to live it and explode. I'm not really sure what he was doing, but I'm so excited to take the Steelix out. So he's going to bring in Chills, his shiny Suicune, and I'm immediately going to go into Blossom to absorb what I was expecting incoming Surf. But I haven't actually seen the Surf yet. So far I've only seen the Ice-type moves. So I'm going to go into Machamp here. I am Poison, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Bad thing is I got a timer on me, but at least I'm not worried about being frozen. So I try and get a couple cross chops off, hopefully get a crit and take it out. And unfortunately I don't even hit altogether. So I'm going to bring back in Snorlax here. He can take the poison just fine. He can take the ice beams just fine. And he will do some considerable damage with those returns. So Skarmory comes in, but she doesn't have that special defense, and I just can't risk some free hits. So I'm going to go right back into Snorlax here, because he is my #1 counter to this, since I am poisoned, so I can't be frozen. It's a big fear of mine. You get one freeze in one of these close-knit Gen 2 games, and it's over. So I'll bring him in, knowing that I can go to sleep and not be threatened out. Makes a beautiful switch here. Brings in Mischievous to take an incoming cross chop, which was really risky on his part, because if I did have gone for the Earthquake, it would have been a free kill right there. Obviously, he couldn't have taken any of my hits but the cross chop, but that was the correct prediction, and as a result, he's able to come in, outspeed Machamp, get the Destiny Bond off, and actually bring me down with me. So at this point, we're in some deep trouble. The matchup's 3-5, so not looking very good at all. That, and I believe my Skarmory is also paralyzed. I have no way of getting rid of that. And Blossom may be as well. Not entirely sure. But we're going to go ahead and play it out. So I've got my work cut out for me. Luckily, I do have quite a few good counters to what he has left. He brings in Heracross, so a simple switch to Skarmory. I'm going to eat up that Mega Horn, no problem. Gives me a chance to curse. I know he's not going to stay in, but I can't take the Thunderbolt, so I have to switch out. I'm going to go straight into Snorlax here, because I'm not going to go to Blossom to absorb that Thunderbolt, knowing that he can then Ice Beam me the next turn. It's just a waste. So I'm going to come into Heracross here, Sleep Talk. I'm going to get the return off. He's going to use Mega Horn. It's going to do quite a bit of damage. I'm a little surprised. I'm not cursed up. Snorlax's defense actually isn't that great. And Heracross just hit so hard. So not all that surprised, as a matter of fact. But man, 40%, 39 to be exact on each hit. It's 3-hit KO after leftovers. Not good, not good. So I'm playing a little bit of this game, hoping to Sleep Talk and get some curses, maybe get some returns here. But I get rest 3 turns in a row, so a little bit odd, a little bit surprising. And finally I decided, you know what, enough is enough. I'm just going to go straight into my hard counter here, Skarmory. So again, I can take this time to curse up, drop some drill pecks, but instead, I guess I was anticipating him to just switch into Nidoking, and learning my lesson from last time, I can't curse because then I don't have a chance to even attack him. So I can just get that one drill peck off. Otherwise, if I cursed and went for a drill peck, he'd be in time to Thunderbolt me back. So he brings in his Snorlax here, and this really was a big turning point in the game. I'm asleep. It's a speed tie. So whoever, it's a flip of a coin. The game's going to randomly decide who's going to go first. I get the return off. He's in kill range. He's obviously going for rest here, but if I sleep talk and get return, I'm going to kill him. So there's a 1 in 3 chance of that, because it also could be rest or curse, both which wouldn't be helpful. And then there's also a 50% chance that he's going to go first and just rest himself. Either way, I'll take a lead even if he rests first. But I luckily do get lucky enough to go ahead and beat him and get the return. So huge swings. So now it's a 3-on-3 where I'm a lot more comfortable. I really like this matchup. I'm actually even thinking about using a rest early here just because I'm so afraid of being frozen. But luckily he's going to go ahead and toxic me. I guess not wanting to go for as much hacks, trying to get that freeze. Even still, with the ice beams, I don't think he could have done enough damage to kill me. I think leftovers actually heals for just about as much as it would have done. I think he would run out of PP before I died. So anywho, he's going to endure here, which is really going to throw me for a huge loop. I'm cursed up. I'm thinking this is going to be an easy 2-hit. He switches in, takes one. I know the next one's going to kill him. I've seen the Mega Horn. It's only going to do 40%. I'm pretty sure I'm in great shape. Going to take Heracross out. Suicune can't kill the Snorlax one-on-one. And that's going to basically be Snorlax versus Nidoking. And I'm not afraid of that matchup either, since 3 of his 4 moves are special attacks, which Snorlax is going to eat up. And I can curse away the Earthquake. So he's going to endure here, which means 100% of the time that the next thing that's coming out is Reversal, which is going to do 250 damage because he's at 1 health, and then it's Stab, so it's going to be 1.5 times that, and then into Snorlax it's going to be 2 times that. So needless to say, I think it would kill 3 Snorlaxes in a row. If he were to reversal right here. So I know I have to switch out. It's a tough decision. It actually took me quite a bit of in-game time to decide here. And I did decide that the right move was to go into Blossom, because I know if I go into Skarmory, he's going to do more than half, if not a kill. I mean, I believe it's almost kill range at 1%. But I can go into Blossom. He can kill the Blossom. He's going to gain a little bit of leftovers, which is the problem with running leftovers on indoor Heracross, is it's going to take away your damage. There's a big difference in damage between being at 1% and even being at 7%, which is, I believe, what he ends up being after 1 leftovers. So I am going to go ahead and switch into Blossom here. It's also going to give me the free switch into Skarmory, which I know he won't be able to kill me with 1. So as you see, he's back up to 7, and now to 13 as a matter of fact. So Skarmory can come in. Nothing, 26, and he does go to see what it does, and it did about as much as I would have thought. So I do get the drill peck off, and now it's a 2-on-2. So it's a nice even game. He comes in here, drops the Thunderbolt, probably expecting the Skarmory to stay in. Instead, I immediately go to Snorlax. He's going to outspeed me, get the Earthquake off. That and Poison was a big deal. And so between the Earthquake and the Poison, it's going to put me to right about 20 health here. I probably shouldn't have gone for Curse. I wasn't expecting the Earthquake to do that much. I don't know why. That and the Poison, I just miscounted here. So the Earthquake, so now it's just a matter of, will 1 Earthquake kill me? If it does kill me, game's over. Skarmory's going to come in and die to a Thunderbolt. If I do live the Earthquake, I'm going to be able to rest up, be cursed up, and I know for a fact that cursed up Snorlax has no problem taking him on. And so I do live 5% health, which is just a testament to what a great game this was. He and I were messaging each other back and forth the whole game, and at this point he did know the game was over. I also think he had some other things he had to go do. So at this point the cursed up Snorlax is going to take out the Nidoking no problem. His Lovely Gift isn't going to matter. Since I am a sleep talker, and I am just going to threaten to outdamage him, and then eventually Suicune's going to come in and do nothing to Snorlax. Probably be able to stall with Roar and leftovers for a while, but eventually it will die. I may have even killed my own Skarmory just so he couldn't roar out my Snorlax, and let myself curse up enough to one-hit him. So it was a great game. and check out his channel, N64Gary, and thanks for watching.